Today on General Hospital, Eddie's song gives Olivia hope, Robert comforts Anna, and Cyrus makes a promise to Drew. Anna wakes up in the Metro Court and finds Valentin is nowhere to be found. She tries to snoop into his briefcase, but it's locked, so she uses a wire from a flower arrangement on the table to pick the lock. Inside she finds an envelope from Pikeman, which she removes. She hears Valentin coming and puts his briefcase back, but neglects to put the Pikeman envelope back in. Anna asks where he was, and Valentin says he was at ELQ dealing with the servers and the water leak. Valentin spots the envelope on the table. His phone rings and he claims it's ELQ and lets it go to voicemail. Valentin asks what he can do for her. Anna says he can help her find who is trying to destroy her life. Valentin would like nothing more to smoke them out, which he says is a poor choice of words, but they need to be careful as this person is a professional. He says he'll make inquiries, but there may be no easy answers. Anna says she needs to grab a shower and then get to her lawyers to deal with her insurance company. As she heads to the bathroom, Valentin grabs the envelope and gets texts from Sonny saying that he wants to see him now. When Anna returns from her shower, she finds Valentin, the envelope, and his briefcase gone. She finds a note he left saying, "Had to run. Dinner later, just us." Robert meets with Diane in a judge's chamber, but the judge is running late. Robert asks how the car show was, and she says it was exquisite. He asks which car was her favorite, but she doesn't know how to pick and just goes on about the colors, the chrome, and the leather seats. She says a wonderful time was had. Robert asks if Alexis enjoyed it. Diane says Alexis could not go, so she took Chris Simmons, who enjoyed it very much. Diane holds in laughter as she can see she's gotten flustered, and he doesn't know if Chris is male or female. Later Robert gets news about Anna's house, which he had no idea about. He says he's on his way. Diane asks if there is a fire that needs to be put out. He says it's already out and destroyed a life. He briefs her and says he must go, so let the judge know they need to reschedule. Olivia returns from a run and finds Eddie eating her cold leftover lasagna in the Quartermain kitchen. She offers to heat it up, but he refuses and says he's used to eating like this being on the road. She won't let him ruin her food, so he eventually allows her to warm it up. Eddie tells Olivia how Leo is a good kid and wants him to teach him how to play the banjo, but he has no idea how to. She gives him the warmed-up lasagna and asks if he wants extra parmesan, but he says no as he hates it. Olivia notes Ned always loved it. She asks how the party scene was last night. He explains he was helping Tracy nurse a hangover, and then he worked on a song. He said his muse, Elvis, helped inspire him. He waxes on about how much music means to him, and it makes him who he is. He offers to let her listen to what he's written, and she says she'd love to hear it. Eddie excuses himself to get his guitar, and Olivia gets a call from Monica. They talk, and Monica just wanted to check in on how things are going with Tracy, and with her and Ned. She says, "You mean Eddie?" Monica asks if she's okay, and she says things are going all right as Eddie returns with his guitar. After she gets off the phone, Olivia tells Eddie how worried she is about Monica, as she's taking so many business trips for the hospital and trying to save the day for everyone. Eddie says it sounds like her, as she has her hands full with work and this family. She says they are worth it and asks about the song. Eddie reminds Olivia this is a work in progress, but she says she's not judging him. He sings a song about being lost in the in-between, as if lost on a ship in a storm, and of hearing a siren whispering to him like a distant memory, someone he hears but can't see. Olivia is moved and asks who the siren is. He isn't sure, he doesn't know how to finish this song. Olivia thinks he'll finish it when the time is right, and to keep working on it as it's beautiful. She rushes out in tears. In Carly's kitchen, Joss tells her mom she's heading to the pool to try and get a heads up on school reading for the upcoming semester. Grey's Anatomy, the book, not the show. Joss takes off, and Carly gets a call from Drew. She is glad to hear he's out of solitary, and is so glad he got out sooner than expected. Drew asks how Carly knew how long it was supposed to be, and what did she do? She admits it was Sonny's doing. She asks what happened and why he got thrown into solitary. He admits he helped an inmate out, Cyrus Renault. She begs him to stay away from Cyrus. Drew is alerted by a guard his time is up, so he asks Carly to come see him today. In Pentonville, Drew runs into Cyrus in the common room. Cyrus says, "We meet again." Cyrus tells Drew that he won't forget what he did for him, and that he owes him his life. Drew says he owes him nothing, but Cyrus swears on his Bible that he'll find a way to repay him for everything. Meanwhile, Diane arrives at Carly's place, and Carly asks how bad it is. Diane asks why she assumes it's bad news. Carly answers, "Because you are a lawyer." Carly notes Diane doesn't usually visit unless there is a crisis. Diane feels she shouldn't be bothering her with this, and Carly jokes she'll bill her. Diane opens up about her problems with Robert, and she's afraid of being rejected by Robert if she goes for it. Carly says men are complicated, and so are women, but if Robert can't see how great she is, then to hell with him. Diane admits that's not the answer she was looking for. Betty arrives outside Sunny's and talks with Mason on the phone. She is upset she has to keep up this job when she got him the goods and says it will cost him. Sunny opens the door to Betty and invites her in. He tells his guard that he doesn't want to be disturbed. Betty asks if Avery is ready to go. He sternly tells her that she's not getting anywhere near Avery. Alarmed, Betty asks what's wrong. He says Avery is sick, and he doesn't want her to catch it. She is sorry to hear and says he can text her when he needs her again. He gives her some cash for the trouble. After Betty leaves, Sunny calls Dex out from the other room and tells him that he knows what to do. Later he calls Ava to tell her that Avery is with him today, and he set the trap for Betty and now they just wait. Later, Valentin arrives, and Sunny needs to know what the message he had Anna deliver to him was about. Valentin explains he got a heads up that there were going to be changes in management at Pikeman, and they are frustrated with his lack of cooperation. Sunny says he told them that he wouldn't cooperate until he got answers about the warehouse shooting. He senses Valentin knows more than he's saying, and asks if he works for Pikeman. Valentin claims he doesn't. Sunny thinks he should call this deal off, but Valentin warns he can't do that. He stresses to Sunny that Pikeman has infiltrated multiple institutions and governments, and he's looking out for him. Sunny yells he can take care of himself unless Valentin knows something he should be aware of. Valentin again says he doesn't, so Sunny dismisses him. Outside, Valentin makes a call to someone and says rushing things was a mistake, and now they're going to pay for it. At the Metro Court pool, Joss watches as Betty takes a seat and orders a huge breakfast and some Bloody Marys. Joss asks if she's been fired already. Betty snaps her sister is sick. Suddenly Dex walks in and pulls Joss into a kiss. Betty texts Mason that the kid is sick, so she's taking the day for herself. Meanwhile, Joss says now that Dex is here, he can help her study muscles for her anatomy class. When Betty gets a call, Dex asks Joss to switch seats, claiming he wants the sun, but she sees he's focused on Betty. Eventually, Betty takes off, and Joss asks Dex what is going on. Dex says to just trust him and he'll call her. He follows after Betty. Betty ends up at the nail salon and Dex reports back to Sunny. Sunny says forget about her, now he needs to follow someone else. Robert shows up to see Anna at the Metro Court. She cries to Robert the house is completely gone, and she knows it's just a house and things, but there were so many memories of Robin, Emma, and Noah there. He comforts her. Anna says she was just on her way to the lawyers, so he offers to come with her. She says she actually has something far more important to do and asks if he'll stay with her while she calls Robin. After getting off the phone, Robert knows Robin is worried about her. Anna asks him not to make this worse. She doesn't know how far this goes and who is after her. She has to piece together what's left of her life, which includes figuring out who she can and cannot trust. She looks over at Valentin's invitation.